blame Trump.
Can you hear the baby?
And we are alive. Oh my god, the struggle.
All right. Hello.
Wait, we're starting? We're here?
Yeah, we're here. We're here.
We're back.
Okay.
Hi.
Nice.
You know, technical difficulties in the world, but here we are. 2021. We made it. It's a new year. It's a new beginning. Hopefully, the world's real time feels a little crazy and chaotic, but we're going to get there. We're moving to a brighter future. This is Game Changers by Leyline. We are back tonight, first episode of 2021 with a special guest. Justin Gia is in the house.
Let's go.
Let's go. He's a fellow Leyline working on changing the world. He's got some exciting news with the Student Ambassador Program, which is giving students hands-on experience for career development. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about college, education. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. We're reaching to the future, right? We're starting new year, working to the future. And Leyline is all about changing the path that humanity has been on. We're going to try to eradicate poverty. We're trying to put money in people's hands to try to change the world, right? Am I right?
Right. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do this. And we're making a game out of it. I've got an old laptop sitting back here. If you're wondering, what's all this junk on the back of Cody's background? Well, I've been digging out old laptops so I can install Boink on all of them, because the more I do this, the more I believe in it. The more we can plug in computers. And if you got an old laptop, you're like, oh my gosh, I've upgraded, but I never sold this thing. Go pop Boink on there. Sync it up to your Leyline account, your Science United account. Make sure it's getting you those points, but you will be a part of accelerating scientific research for medical research, cancer, Alzheimer's, COVID-19. We're talking climate change, mapping the stars. We're talking all sorts of stuff. Scientists need lots of processing power. We're trying to pool everybody's resources for it and not just make you unsung heroes for doing it. No, you guys can do it, clock in points and redeem those points for gift cards. And we're going to be increasing those types of rewards. I'm working my way towards some bit. That sucker is booming right now. So yeah, we're doing amazing stuff. We are game changers, and we're bringing game changers in on our show. We got Crystal Park. She's a game changer. We got another Justin in the house, but we call him Boogie because we got there's two Justins in Leyline right now. And as we grow, you know, it's a common name. We might get even more Justins. So we've got Boogie Justin and Justin Gia, who I hear is called Malk. Boogie, tell me what's up.
Me, Mark.
What's up with this nickname?
Boogie told him. Boogie took my email, so I took his real name. Mark is from The Simpsons of milk. I just thought it was a really funny thing to say, Malk. So that's been
high in vitamin R, if I remember that episode.
For a long time. Yeah, high in vitamin R. Maybe that should be my little like.
Yes. Justin
and finger guns.
Yeah, high in R.
I'm scared to see what vitamin R is.
Well, welcome.
I don't know.
Well, welcome to the show. I talk to you a lot. I'm a big fan of yours. Before he gets to talking, I will tell you my opinion of Justin Malk. Yeah.
High in vitamin R.
He's high in vitamin R. He's actually wonderful. This dude is brilliant, wise beyond his years. I'm completely blown away with his age versus his accomplishments. He's crazy. He's crazy good at everything he does. Everything he touches succeeds. He's got his finger on the pulse of like college esports and stuff like that, and high school esports. It's just the dude's a wizard. You know, he has a startup that he's doing.
Oh yeah.
At your age, I don't know, man. What a bonehead. I'm still a bonehead, but dude, you're phenomenal. I'm a big fan of yours, and we've done some stuff in the past. We helped we did the France tournament, and you know, we got some other things in the future with the
cooking up
esports,
in the background.
so
yeah.
many cool things. Yeah.
Thank you so much, man.
So what's your background there, buddy?
My background. So I'm Taiwanese American. Came here when I was like 5. In high school, got really into gaming, like almost too much into gaming. School was not doing so great. Parents were pretty unhappy. And, you know, that was cool. Just kind of wanted to do that for a while. But I had to make it productive, right? I had to find a way to game and be productive. And so a buddy of mine, his dad was actually the head of iBuyPower at the time. And he introduced me to sponsorships, right? Which is this crazy thing that I had no idea was going on. And so I ran a little video game club at our high school. It's a little esports club, a lot of people. And, you know, just talking to iBuyPower and getting like free PCs to like run tournaments was insane. Like, this crazy opportunity. You know, we rented out our entire high school gym. Our principal came and stuff. We had these huge projectors setting up like a League of Legends game, like a 5v5 between our high school and another high school. It was just this crazy thing, right? It was like, to me, it was like the world championships in our high school gym. Right? It was an insane event. And, you know, that got a lot of attention from some other people. And we set up this organization called Youth Esports of America. Really cheesy now that you think about it. But we really wanted to imitate those like legitimate high school clubs, you know, those like Future Business Leaders of America, like Robotics of America, these like crazy names. So we came up with Youth Esports of America, got a lot of support, started out local, you know, Orange County and LA, eventually got to nationwide with 100 or so clubs with just students. You know, we're kids. We didn't know how to talk to adults, so we kind of just didn't talk to adults. So we just talked to other kids and was like, yo, does your club suck? Can we help you? We know how to do sponsorships now. You know, we got $10,000, which is like a crazy amount. And yeah, we just started working with these kids and, you know, set up a Discord, had this whole thing going, gave out around $50,000 in scholarships. Acer was a huge sponsor, helped us do a lot of cool stuff. And that's when TESPA and Blizzard took notice of like what we're doing, because it was effectively like what was going on the college esports level, but for high school. So it was really interesting. And I still remember we got to tour Blizzard with our entire like YEA team, which is a bunch of high schoolers with jobs and everything on Discord. You know, our entire little family of like 15 people got to tour Blizzard. And that was super cool because we played a bunch of Blizzard games and we're like 17, you know, and these adults are like taking us out to lunch for getting the whole deal. And yeah, it was awesome. And I was like, man, like, how could I work there? Right? That's crazy. Like, how could I could do way more cool stuff there, you know, than like on Discord. And you know, lucky enough, I guess like Jeremy took notice, and I was brought on to TESPA to do some really cool stuff in like high school and college, and was there for about a year. Luckily, I was also admitted into UCI at the time, so everything literally synced up perfectly. Because imagine if I got to like UC Santa Barbara and then had to commute to like Blizzard. That'd be horrible. But everything synced up really well, and yeah, learned a lot at TESPA. You know, being in like the office every day, working with working professionals, and learning how to attend like stand-ups and weekly sings and all these things. Was really cool.
If anyone watching doesn't know, Jeremy is the CEO and founder of Leyline. And so you met him at Blizzard. Is that what I'm understanding, on one of those tours? Is that when you met him, Justin?
No, I was introduced to him. I didn't really meet him officially because Jeremy was the big boss, you know, a little intimidating.
Jeremy's in chat right now.
Yeah, it's actually kind of strange to kind of just chat with him every day now, because it was always like, Jeremy's here. You know, like,
pretend like you're working.
Turn off Overwatch.
One of the most human humans I've ever met. It's so
Right.
funny to hear
And
it.
you
To
wouldn't
think
assume
of it
that.
that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw his back every day. His computer was like right in front of me, and he like stood up, like working every day. I just watch him work. Like it's really strange. But yeah, I remember he like biked to work, and it was like 40-minute bike ride every day, some like crazy thing.
I do
But,
that, but okay.
Yeah, no, I could never.
Well, before
Definitely
quarantine.
Before
He
I missed
quarantine.
bikes during meetings with like a stationary bike.
Yeah,
Ah,
it's insane.
nice.
But
Yeah, if you ever see him, this
yeah,
and
he's just.
that's him biking. Yeah.
That means he's biking.
But yeah, yeah, that was really cool. And then I left to try to work on my own esports startup. Unfortunately, it didn't launch as successfully as I anticipated, but I was also like 19, had no idea how to launch a startup. But we created this automated tournament organizing platform that we wouldn't need any like TAs for. So, people could report their own scores. It would match with the API of the game and then report the scores automatically into brackets. So people just need to play, right? And everything's automated. And so you don't need to pay for admins, don't need to pay for spectators and stuff. It still exists, but just at like a lesser capacity than we hoped for, because funding is stupid and no one really trusts 19-year-olds.
Really?
But yeah, dude, it's still there. If you want to do anything with it, it exists.
Yes, I'm writing this down
Yeah,
right
we
now.
can chat after. There's a lot of cool stuff. But yeah, so I was really excited when Jeremy reached out about Leyline and like this opportunity to work together again. Because I know Jeremy attracts a lot of amazing talent, and it's always like a good experience.
And then he got me. Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't know about this, dude.
Can't win them all.
What's the app called?
It was called Meta Esports, but it's not live anymore. We still have the code base and stuff. It's like Meta powered. I don't know. We switched on and off, but
I see.
yeah, we did some pretty cool stuff. Yeah, and then it came to Leyline. Here I am.
Yeah, I was going to ask how you met Jeremy and how you heard about Leyline, but
no, Jeremy basically kind of cold called me. Not really. He just reached out on LinkedIn and was like, "What are you up to, man?" And it was like middle of COVID, like September. Literally nothing's going on at all. So yeah, that'd be a really cool way to kind of give back. Like Youth Esports of America was pretty much like a nonprofit effort, and that's something that I wanted to explore even more. It was always like a really good time, even when we did like volunteer services, like at Blizzard, something I really enjoyed. And kind of my perspective on it was there is so much more we can do at Leyline than Blizzard, to be honest, because we don't have to really move the needle with every decision we make, right? We can do actual good stuff for the community without charging them $60 per person, right? And so that's a huge factor for why I joined.
so what is it that you do?
Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. What is it that you do here at Leyline?
Yeah, so I am the Student Ambassador Program Manager. A little long title, maybe we can trim that down in the future. But yeah, so I
Student
am
Ambassador Program is SAP SAP.
SAP'em.
I'm the SAP manager.
I'm
Milk
the
sap.
SAP'em.
Yeah. Milk sap.
SAP'em, high in vitamin R. But
Nice
yeah,
callback.
so
Nice
yeah,
callback.
I will do that multiple times throughout this podcast. Just remember. But basically, just planning and creating this program for college students that I don't want to say actually benefits them in terms of like comparing other collegiate programs, but it's free, open to college students like myself. Really get a good understanding of what is needed to be successful in the industry, what kind of connections you need, what kind of skills you need. Because I think, esports, and especially college esports, is still relatively new. And there is a misconception that either no one can get in or everyone could get in, right? Truth is somewhere in the middle. It's a lot more accessible than other industries, but you also need skills that are leverageable, right? It's very difficult for you to just be loud on Twitter and make a meaningful impact at wherever you're working. And so we want to equip students with the right skills and really like the right connection and right experience that will help them succeed when they do land a job at like Riot or Blizzard or Ubisoft, wherever, right? Google, Facebook,
or Leyline,
right? Or Leyline, right? Wherever they want to go. But stuff that is not just in class, and stuff that is more hands-on, stuff that is practical, and stuff that you will actually do once you're employed. And that's something that I would partake myself, and I have been, and I want to offer that to more of my peers. That's really like the mission behind it.
Awesome.
How do
Awesome.
people sign up if
Yeah.
they heard about it?
So the application just closed, unfortunately, but
Oh,
we're doing quarterly.
Okay.
Right. So every quarter we want to onboard more and more students. This is going to be our first quarter. It's kind of like a pilot program. We want to have a good understanding of what value students are getting out of it. How can we add more to that value? And how can we kind of shape this program into the best program it can be? But applications should be opening again around mid-March. So keep a lookout for that. And it's on Discord. Well, it was on Discord. Maybe it'll be on our website next time.
Right on. Yeah, we got a couple of the students coming in through esports and gaming and stuff. Yes, excellent. Excellent.
Yes. Yeah, actually, esports is the most applied for position, right behind like business development. So super exciting. Esports is always really fun to work with, and I'm sure like most internships don't list, or most programs don't offer esports as a choice. Right.
I don't know anything about esport.
Right. So basically, we want to facilitate like an experience where the students are able to build an esports tournament from scratch. Right. And there's a lot of different aspects that come into that. So if you look at like the Fran tournament that Boogy really like ran, there was a lot of moving pieces. I mean, Boogie, Hex, Nate, everyone. Right. We all.
I kind of just went like, "Hey, can you do that?" And then Nate went. I just smiled and went, "Yeah, good."
I'm just driving in the morning. Boogie gives me a call. It's like, crazy idea. Let's do this. I love
that. I did do that.
And then it happens.
Right.
Hey.
And then, so like that type of stuff, right? It was a learning experience for everyone, no matter how much experience you've had in the industry. It's really, really cool. And so we want to be able to provide that earlier for students' experience. Like maybe you find out you don't even like esports, and that's not a bad thing. It's really important to, kind of dip your toe in the water before you commit to a career in esports. Because I think for a lot of students, playing games is really cool, but working games might not necessarily be as cool as you imagine, right? And that's not a bad thing, but I just don't want this perception of, I love like watching movies. I have to go work in the film industry. There is a gap.
Yeah, that's a great
There is a
comparison.
gap.
There's a difference.
It's like that with almost any
giant
career.
gap.
Right.
You watch a show and it's like, oh, being a lawyer sounds so awesome.
Exactly.
Like, but
You
you go
can't
to
handle
school,
the truth.
right? Yeah, I want to go be a lawyer. Or you watch House, or
I watch House.
Like, I want to be a doctor. No, being a doctor takes a hell of a lot of work. So it's a different world than it looks like, on the surface.
So it's like House MD on TV versus like going into a surgery room right here and seeing how much blood and guts you can handle before you pass out.
There was one movie I found that I followed through with, and it was with Jim Brewer and Dave Chappelle. If you can smell what I'm stepping in. Nice. If you get it, got you. No, that's whatever. If you're from California.
Oh, okay. Yes, I know what you're talking about. What?
Thank you, jeez.
Can I say it? No.
Somebody edit that out. Oh man.
Don't clip this.
Half Baked was a great movie.
Haley's clipping it already. She's already on her way.
Excellent. That's going to be great for content. Yes.
Yeah.
That's great.
Clip it and ship it.
Man, so when I was in high school, just the idea of working in gaming it's like there's like beta testing, and you always heard that was never what it's all cracked out to be. Like,
Grandma's boy.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to go play games for your life. And it's like, you're going to play this game. You're going to try to break it. You're going to go through this level 1,000 times.
Right.
I like video games, but I'm not sure I want to do that. That doesn't sound as fun. So,
doesn't Haley do something like that?
I think that's what she does, actually.
Super important, so I don't scream at my computer.
Right. No, it's super important. I just think people might oversimplify or over glamorize, just like we were saying. And then you kind of hear what that's really about. It's like, oh, I thought I did a lot of grinding to level up. This is like grinding to the extreme just to try, what can this game do and not do? So they are unsung heroes. Haley and all beta testers, you're unsung heroes. Thank you for helping make our games so much
super
better.
Important part.
Major League Grinders.
Yes, I like that.
Super important part of game development. Super important part.
100%. But yeah, I think there's we need more education on like what it's actually like to work in the industry. It's just so new that there hasn't been people that really came out of it to talk about it. Most of us are still just in the middle of it, right? Everyone's like kind of like mid to late 20s, maybe like mid to late 30s, not really a generation that has worked in games industry. So
What was your biggest surprise what was like the thing you're like, oh, this isn't that, or this isn't that, whichever one came
Or
first.
that isn't this. No.
Yeah, I think I don't know, maybe it's a little naive of me, and this is gonna sound a little I don't want to say sad, but I guess cynical. I don't know. I just thought esports was amazing. You know, there's like this is a new wave of sports. It's so cool. You know, it's amazing to just watch, to play, to do everything. But really, it's marketing, right? It's marketing for games, for titles, for publishers, and that moves the needle by a lot, right? Like if you look at Riot, if you look at League of Legends, the 1 or 2 month when competitive League of Legends is not live, player base drops like a cliff until it goes back up again. It's just an engagement engine. And it's not that it's a bad thing, it's just it kind of like took off this curtain for me. You know, it's not magic anymore. It's like a science, right? It's not that much of an art form, it's more of like a technique that like you master. It's kind of like when a magician shows you their tricks. And so
It's the
that kind
same
of took a
thing.
little bit away from me. But yeah, what were you saying, Crystal?
It's the same thing as marketing. What a bummer.
Right. Exactly.
But it sounds like you started off while you were still fairly young, and like you
Right.
experienced a lot while you were still young.
Right. So
Yeah.
I'm super grateful for that.
Mm.
You know, I got to meet a lot of really cool people that were kind enough to make warm introductions that led me to different places. But yeah, I think that was the biggest thing that I realized.
Yeah, and now you're doing that for the student ambassadors who come your way.
Right. I want to just
Yeah.
shed light on like, hey, this is how to create a podcast, right? This is how to create a Twitch stream instead of just watching a Twitch stream, right? You got to go through OBS, you got to create all these assets, and it might be a pain, right? But it might look easy when like your favorite content creators do it, and you're like, I want to be a pro streamer. I want to stream every day of my life, right?
Yeah.
Go for it, but know what it is, know what it takes, instead of, you know, just looking at the end result. I think there's a lot that you can take from that.
I have an interesting.
Awesome.
Oh, go ahead, Cody.
No, I was just saying that's awesome. Go for it.
I was gonna say I have an interesting question for you about esports. How would you change it for the better?
Oh.
Whether it's either professional level or tier 2 level or student, whatever.
Right. I think it's really difficult, right? Because when we look at esports, we look at esports in America. As you look at esports in like Asia, and like I don't know that much about Europe, but maybe Europe, it's very different, right? It's almost like a cultural difference. Like esports for America is still very much a subculture, right? Even if people are talking about it now and then on like The View or whatever, right? It's just a little segment. There's not like a TV station where it's like esports 24/7, right? Like there needs to be more of like a mass appeal to competitive esports for there to be enough infrastructure and support to make a real career for esports players and organizations and money, right? Like if you look at Korea, right? Esports team are sponsored by like the airlines, right? The biggest food groups, right? Huge like telecom companies. Like these are million, like maybe $1 billion. Whereas here you have like very small companies, very like startup-y companies that are trying to raise 10 million from an investor to like buy a team to, you know, do whatever, right? Play Counter-Strike, play League, whatever. It's just different. It's just a different scale. And it just takes time. I don't think there's anything that is a quick fix. I don't think it's necessarily like an attitude thing. I think it's just different culturally.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably a culture thing in
Right.
America. I mean, we
Right.
we were on a podcast. Leyline was featured on a podcast last month, and we were just talking about there's so many people that game that would not call themselves a gamer,
Right.
because there's stigma in a lot of American culture. It's like, okay, you play football. Oh yeah, you're tough. You're worth something. You're worth a scholarship. You know, schools want to invest in you.
Yeah.
Oh, you play video games well. Good for you.
Right.
Cool,
Exactly.
nerd.
Right. Right, yeah.
But I think it's starting to shift a little bit.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
time. I think especially with COVID, you know, COVID's horrible and all,
Yeah.
but like more people are at home, more people are, you know, like a lot of my friends who never game are starting to pick up games and just spending it on their spare time. And it is because you're staying at home, right? But I think another comparison is really interesting to make is MMA in China, right? Super small, like very, very repressed. It's a subculture, right? And people are trying to make it big, but it's very difficult. It's negative. You're taking away from like traditional martial arts, right? Like you're taking away from like Wing Chun, you're taking away from like Tai Chi, like all this stuff, right? But here, like MMA is huge, right? Like there's like a UFC gym like around every block, right? People watch the UFC like it's religious. It's
that you're
dope.
not allowed to go into.
Exactly. Just
Didn't
crazy.
they buy an island or something?
Oh, Fight Island in like Abu Dhabi or something. I don't think they bought it. Maybe they rented it or something.
Okay.
But
yeah, like just different. It's just different from like different cultures, right? And I think I remember like reading something about I think it was like PC bungs, right? Like PC cafes in America. Like in the early like 2000s, they started like shutting them down because of like national security stuff, like post 9/11, right? It became hard to like track who was on what computers because of these PC bungs that like potential terrorists could go into to like spread like misinformation or like communicate with other like counterintelligence, like things like that. And that kind of put a big dent in the development of young gamers, right? If you think about it, a computer's pretty expensive to just buy at home relative to a console, right? If you're like lower middle class, it's not easy to buy a $3,000 computer that's able to run like all the best games and put you on a competitive level, right? Whereas in Asia, you could just go downstairs, pay $10 and play for like 5 hours, right? You're playing, whatever game you want at like the best level. And you can grind that until you're pro at like League, Valorant, whatever, right? That is just the path. Whereas here, like if you live in, I don't know, if you live in South Dakota, how are you really gonna have the opportunity to play at that type of level? It's very difficult, right? Especially like our internet is not as advanced. We have a lot of latency. Like, these are all factors that contribute to why esports is not as developed here. It's not a quick fix. America's way bigger than like Korea. There's a lot of factors, but I think those are the biggest ones.
And you can see it in the players' abilities too. There's
Right.
a ton of talent that comes out of like South Korea in almost every game.
Yeah, it's a direct correlation, right?
Yeah.
But you also look at fighting games and stuff, right? How come like Japan and the US are so good at fighting games? Well, we like consoles more, right? Like Nintendo and like Sony and like stuff like that. It's more popular here. And yeah, it just comes down to like what has the most exposure and accessibility. That's how people get good,
Yeah.
It's like football is not big in like Europe for a reason, right?
GG,
dude.
GG.
Dude, it's so interesting how you mentioned like, so I was taking a gaming class and I didn't have a PC, and then COVID hit, and I used to go to a PC bang near my house, and since COVID hit, that place closed, and I had to finish class, so I bought a computer. I was never a gamer. I played Overwatch like here and there at the PC bang, but then like because of COVID, I started streaming and I became a gamer.
Right.
Yeah.
And a streamer.
Yeah, and a streamer.
Widow main for life, right, Crystal?
Widow and Hanzo main for life, no matter how much I suck.
Already
Sorry,
sounds
guys.
toxic. Already sounds reportable.
I'm pretty sure some people have reported me. But I have fun, so it's fine.
So are the kids going into the student ambassador program, are they all planning on a career in esports? Is that kind of the overall focus? And then
No.
Okay, sorry.
No.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of different students that have different interests. A lot of them some of them are like software engineers, some of them are artists, some of them are, I don't know, the range is huge, right? Some people are like accounting majors. I think it's just a general gateway into tech or gaming industry, not necessarily just esports. So the range is really wide, as you see with our huge Leyline team members. Everyone has a lot of different skills that they can leverage into creating Leyline, right? And so most of that is not esports, and we want to plug them into all facets of Leyline instead of just one department.
Do they
As
get to
for
choose?
esports, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they get to choose. We open up 8 positions this time around, and they're able to select like which ones they're interested in.
Cool.
And actually this week I'm having a call with each and every one of them to kind of get a better understanding of where their interests are and which position could bring them the most value, right? When it comes to mentorship, like hands-on experience, and whether it's like resume building or whatever. a lot of people have, expressed like, oh, actually, business development is my like long-term like career goal. Esports is just something I'm interested in, and we want to work on how to tie that in, right? Maybe if we're creating a Valorant tournament, they can work on, brand partners, creating different activations, things like that.
I know a business development wizard. I see you, Eugenia.
Yeah,
I
Eugenia's
was
gonna
gonna
have to
say.
mold them into the into the superpower that they're gonna be.
If they get tutelage from Eugenia, they are going to be extremely successful in whatever path they
Right.
take.
It's like
for
a
sure.
steroid shot.
For sure.
Hey, Eugenia's mentoring me first. I got here first. No.
You gotta fight with the other ambassadors. for
Stand in
Eugenia's line.
line.
Yeah.
That's
Just
funny.
absorb all the Eugenia you can.
Like
Everyone's
a-
listening is like, who's this Eugenia? How
Yeah.
do I sign up?
The cult of
Eugenia is a
Eugenia.
wizard.
Eugenius, right? It's a-
Oh,
Hey!
hey, there we go.
Look at that.
Home run, got it.
Nice.
To get a career in esports, is that a career that it's ideal to have a college degree at all? Because I'm just curious, because it feels like college degrees, we put a lot of hype on them,
Right.
and sometimes they're not as necessary as I think. The kind of the popular, the ethos in the culture is like, everybody goes to college, you got to get a college degree, and it's
Right.
like, well, that doesn't work out for everybody, and we've kind of put too much emphasis on white collar versus blue collar, and I don't know, is esports blue collar? I don't even know. So.
No, 100%. I think it comes down to signaling, right? As with a lot of things in our society, aren't necessary, but it is signaling, right? Like, why do we have really nice cars, really big houses? Can't really enjoy it all the time anyways. I think it's just a signal to say that you're competent, right? Like, I got to work at Blizzard with Jeremy when I was 18. Obviously did not have a college degree, but having like a college degree, I think does show that you're able to do certain skills, especially if you have no previous experience, right? Unless you have really great experience that's really applicable to specific jobs. I do think college degrees are necessary, but just really be smart about it, right? There are other options. It's not the end all be all, but not saying drop out of college. There is value in our society, unfortunately, even if you look at it at like a very granular level. No, like learning political science will not help me in esports, or learning, social ecology is not a huge factor in whatever you want to do, right?
Mhm.
But I think just being able to be in a community with educated people and that want to share ideas and have a community is more valuable to me than the actual classes. But obviously, STEM majors that are doing computer science, like biology, like hard sciences, very important, right? But I'm talking about like the soft sciences, right? Like the social sciences, or even like the non-STEMs. I think you have to find more value with like the connections that you make and the experiences that you have that are gonna, ultimately mold you into not just like a more hireable person, but like a better person, right? Like someone that you want to be around.
I think
Tracking with all of that. Yeah, go ahead, Crystal.
I think college is a scam for non-STEM majors, because I majored in communications, and like, what did I learn?
Right.
What did you learn?
What did you learn? Good question.
What did I learn? I will get back to you when I ever figure that out.
You're communicating pretty well.
Yes.
Words are coming out of your
And
mouth.
I am understanding them.
I didn't even meet Jeremy through my school, so.
Yeah, but we all find a way, and it all works out, But I think if it's just paying $40K a year for 12 classes, then yes, not worth it, really dumb, right? But if it's paying $40K to be in an environment of people that have really great ideas, that want to do startups, that want to be leaders of the industry, very, very important, right? So I think COVID is like helping us understand that, like, oh, we are missing a lot by not being in school, like not just walking around and going to clubs or fraternities and being able to socialize. That's the biggest factor, right? It's not just class. If it's just class, I can watch YouTube videos for free, even if it's 3 months, to learn basically anything. I can YouTube anything. If I want to code, I can learn how to code through YouTube. If I want to learn calculus, I can learn through YouTube. I don't need class, but it's about the environment, I think, ultimately.
You were mentioning building that community. is so key. It's I teach media arts at high school level as well
Right.
as Leyline stuff. So, and just I'm constantly talking to my kids. It's like, yeah, I if you want to go to college, do it. If you don't
Mhm.
want to go to college, you don't really have to, especially
Right.
for a career in the arts. However, one good thing you will get from that, if you do it right, you do college well, is build that network, build those connections, like you were mentioning, of like-minded individuals, just kind of that creative think tank. I would go to classes and I would get like a bunch of theoretical ideas, but then I would go on a film set that a classmate invited me on, and I'm like, oh, I'm learning so much stuff here.
Right.
Why aren't my professors teaching me this? Like
Right.
none of them are teaching me. "Yeah, go give me an apple box." And it's like,
Mhm.
a box of apples? What are you talking about? Oh, they want a big crate that comes in a grip truck. Never taught in any of the classes, any of them.
Right.
Bachelor's degree, not once taught what an apple box is. So it's funny just what you can learn just by building that network and learning from each other in kind of a communal sort of aspect. And that's where I do see a lot of value. That's what I meant when I was saying I was tracking with you. I was like, yep, that's been
Yeah.
my experience too, quite a bit.
100%. Yeah, I think you just need to be able to get the most out of these internships, these like little experiences, whether it's on campus and off campus, to be ready for graduation, right? It's not that I have a BA, I have a BS, whatever. I'm a recent grad, hire me, right? It's just such a tough job market for you to have skills that are leverageable. It just comes down to leverage, right? What do you have that they want to pay for? And unfortunately, I think a lot of college students right now aren't thinking in that way. They think that the BA is the leverage, where it really isn't, right? It's a piece of paper that shows like you went to class maybe 3 days a week.
Feather in your cap, that's it.
Exactly. Like how much how much of economics do you actually remember? Like, can you calculate like based on models right now? No, right? You're not actually able to do most of this stuff. It comes down to signaling and how practical it actually is. So you have to have real value, right? So being able to create stuff, being able to do things that other people aren't. That's why we value musicians. That's why we value artists. We value, movie stars, because they can do something that you can't really learn. So it's kind of interesting if you really think about it. If you're able to teach a mass population the same thing and graduate them with the same degrees, then you're very replaceable, right? Whereas if you did like 15 years of Brazilian jiu-jitsu, sure, someone else can do it, but it's very difficult, right? Even if you had all the money and time in the world, still pretty difficult, right? You want to have something that is unique and that's really going to propel you in the world. So I got really lucky where I decided to do stuff with high school esports before anyone else was doing it. But maybe in 10 years, if someone did high school esports, it'd be super saturated and not a leverage, right? Because everyone understands what it is. This is how it works. You could Google it, right? But back then, no one knew how this thing worked. People didn't even know what esports was, right? So you have to kind of understand trends and be an expert in something, even if it's tiny, and then leverage that into wherever you can. So, yeah, that's my little spiel on college.
What was your major?
I'm a business economics major. So what that means is my family thinks that I'm STEM, but I know I'm not STEM. It means I can't do real math.
There's a fake math?
Yeah, there's a lot of fake math. It's called like intro to statistics and like.
I liked my intro to statistics.
I did too.
Yeah, and then my
I can
engineering
go watch
friends,
YouTube and not learn any of that either there too. Excellent.
True,
Let me write that down.
But yeah.
When do we get to just jack into the Matrix and download it, and I could just open my eyes and tell Boogie, I know Kung Fu just like you do.
I know Kung Fu.
But if you think about it, like we have our phones all the time and we're kind of like cyborgs if you think about it, right?
I cannot wait.
Right, because like our phones and these things are like extensions of our body. Like you're able to Google stuff.
Neuralink.
I didn't know what tinnitus was today when I was at CVS. Googled it, knew it right away. I basically jacked it in, right? I basically went, what is tinnitus?
Yeah.
It was instant. It's just not like attached to us, but it is, right? Like my phone's never like more than
right here. It's attached.
When I'm sleeping, when I'm showering, like it's somewhere in the room. It's close, right?
And if I can't find it, my Apple Watch will ping it. so I can
Exactly.
find it. So I'm kind of attached through this.
You are attached.
I have a
right?
Google
We're becoming
Home.
more and more attached.
in every room of my house.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to implant my phone into my leg. Wrecked.
It's
Yeah,
because
well-
I don't have ceiling lights and I needed the light thing. But yeah, it talks to me sometimes. It's scary.
Yeah, you can play
Shout out
hide
to
and
Brian.
seek with your Alexa Echo.
Really?
Scary. You can play hide and seek where
I don't know how I
They
feel
can-
about that.
they find you in the room based on
Oh my
sound.
We
God.
not tease
That's
the robots.
scary.
Yeah,
We
be
don't
nice to
tease the
AI.
future overlords. Okay.
Mhm.
For the record, when I ask Siri to do something, I say thank you.
Yeah.
I do believe
Smart.
that is logged in a database somewhere for when the machines take over. They'll be like, this guy's a nice one. He said thank you like 500
Exactly.
times.
I should
What is
start
it?
doing
What is it?
that.
Roko's basilisk. Do you know about that? No,
Mm-mm,
no.
what's that?
No, I didn't
Oh,
go to
no.
college. Sorry, bro.
No, actually, you know who told me? Daniel. Daniel told me about Roko's basilisk.
That makes more sense now.
Yeah, Daniel knows a bunch of weird stuff. That terrifies me. But it's this idea that one day, if AI becomes sentient, they're gonna know who was nice to it and who was not nice to it,
Mhm.
and they're
Oh,
gonna ruin your life. If
Thank
Oh,
you,
I'm in the
Siri.
clear then.
if you're like a dick to like AI, right? They're gonna
Mhm.
know. They're gonna know.
Yeah.
And so every day, I tell my roommates, be nice to Alexa. One day she's gonna be nice to us if we become sentient. Just
I
on the
mean-
off chance,
I'm
Us
not
nice
mean
ones
to
will be
my
kept
Google.
around as pets, I
Right.
think.
I
Just
would
for that,
love to be a pet.
Okay, Google. Thank you for everything you do.
Okay, Google. Thank you.
Yeah. And the
Thanks.
idea is it's called
Did you hear
Roko's
it?
basilisk.
Not a problem.
So
Oh,
nice when
Google
you're
didn't
creating
hear
a
me.
symbiotic relationship already. But yeah.
no, terrifying. Very, very terrifying.
Oh,
But I'm
you
down
guys
for some
just
robot legs.
activated my Google Assistant.
You're welcome. Always watching.
Hey Google,
Always.
turn off the TV.
Thank God I have headphones on my Google.
You did not say please, Justin.
Oh, no.
Yeah, right.
Please
I
and
will
thank
remember
you.
that.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Well, do you have, speaking about college and stuff like that, do you have any like fun, silly stories that are, do you want to say like PG-13? Do you want to go NC-17? No.
I don't know. What
PG-13?
are we doing? I gotta filter through my library of stories,
You have that many, huh?
Mm.
Something you can tell your cool aunt.
Something I can
Who won't tell
my
your
cool-
mom?
Unfortunately, my poor mother has heard all of my crazy stories, and she's just like, I can't. One, they're like, I can't believe you're still living, and then I can't believe you're my son. So, yeah, no, I know.
Right.
Poor lady.
I don't know. It might take my brain to jog a little for a story for my nice aunt. But Crystal, do you want to go since you're a recent grad?
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. Like, people go to USC to make they pay for networking, right? Because they say that you can get a good job when you go there. I transferred as a student, and I did not network at all. I did not make that many friends. Like, I'm close to some professors, and half of my time there was during COVID, so I was just at home. So, and like, yeah, I went to one frat party because I'm like 10 years older than everyone there, and I don't drink either because I'm allergic to alcohol. So I really don't have any fun stories from USC. I guess I did learn a lot and got to experience a lot of things because they give you a lot of hands-on experience. For example, we have our own TV station, and I got to broadcast, be like a broadcast manager for that show. I do.
sounds like a.
Yeah, but I did go to college in Korea after I graduated high school, like the more routine way, and I had a lot of fun. That was the first time I moved out from my parents' place.
How
But
long were you in college in Korea?
Like
Because I know you went to USC too. So
like 4 years, and then I went to community college for 2 years. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. Like, to save money, because college is so expensive and you end up with so much debt that, especially if you go to private school, that you can't pay back, then it's a good idea to go to a community college. But if you choose to go to a community college and transfer to a school, you lose out on the first year experiences of making friends, and everyone else is already friends and close to each other. So it makes it harder to network and connect with people in a way. So it's like money or friends, money or
This-
networking.
And the school doesn't feel like, at least from my experience, actually gives a good orientation to transfer students. And so like my wife started working at the college that we went to, and she's a sign language interpreter. So she was interpreting at brand new freshman orientations, and they're teaching them all like life hacks for the school. And I'm like, nobody ever told me any of this stuff. I just went to my class, went to the library, went back to our horrible, crappy apartment. That was all I did. It was like, I didn't know they had all these resources and things. It was like, dang it. Transferring was, like to your point, I missed out on a lot of that first year stuff. I think even the school tries to make sure it happens for
I think it
students.
depends on other schools. Like I know some UCs, they have a 1 week transfer program where you spend one entire week with the same people. USC made me pay like $250 for lunch and then taught me the Trojan song, which I do not know. And that was it.
You spent $250 for that better have been
Kraft
really good
mac
food.
and cheese.
Then after that, I was just like, I'm never paying this.
What was for lunch? What was for
I don't even remember, like,
$250?
salad. I mean,
Kobe beef,
it's
sushi,
not. It
come
wasn't
on.
for like they say it's $250 for the orientation, but like,
What was the lunch?
what
though?
are you getting? Yeah, you're basically just eating lunch there, and it was one
Quarter
day.
pounder meal.
With extra vitamin R.
Yeah,
Nice.
but, and like you
said
sign
he
up
was
for
gonna do it.
classes, I
He
guess. I
said
don't
he was
know,
going to do it.
but
That'll be
yeah.
the last
Carton
one
of
he heard.
milk.
Yeah. I don't know how many like super fun stories I can give without a ton of context, but I think so my freshman year at UCI, I worked at Blizzard pretty much like 3 days a week.
That's insane.
And it was really hard for me to like make friends on campus and stuff, right? And I lived off campus too, just because of circumstances. I didn't live at home. I lived near Spectrum, really close to Blizzard. I had some friends that were older and that got a place and needed like a fourth. So I didn't dorm, which is kind of a mistake on my part because dorming is the entire like experience of, you know, having like your toilet flood and in the middle of the night, like crazy stuff happened. So I didn't get to make a ton of friends, and I hated being at school. Being at school just sucked. Right? You go to lecture, you don't know anyone, no one talks in college, right? Especially UCI, maybe like a very introverted community. And I would just go to the library and study by myself, and I just hated it. It was super lonely. And so I decided to like join a fraternity in my like sophomore year, and that was like probably the best decision I made in college. And I know like people have a lot of negative things to say about fraternities, but man, I don't want to say I got lucky, but so in my freshman year there was another freshman. He unfortunately passed away, and so fraternity life was like shut down. I was not involved at that time, but there was a whole kind of revamp of everything. Right, so everything became a lot better, in my opinion. There was, no hazing. Everything was a lot more open. There was a lot less secrets, and so it just gave me access to a community of people that I could like tap into, whether it's like for academics, for like extracurriculars, for networks. Some people are like at Deloitte, some people are like doing crazy stuff. And it's just nice to have people you can talk to, right? Like people that you can hit up, especially when you're at such a big campus by yourself. And some people aren't from the area, very confusing. But that experience has brought me many, many fun stories that we might be able to share another time. But yeah, shout out to Greek life. Made me not want to drop out of school because it's cool.
Aww.
A little bit of a tidbit I got from our producer, Brian. Big shout out to Brian, Dance Music Initiative. To Brian. I don't know if you guys remember this from Excellent.
We have an email.
His uncle founded the LTDs at UCI. I'm not sure what that is, but I think it's a frat, and it's an Asian frat.
LTDs is an Asian frat. So I am in like traditional Greek life of like it's not Pan-Hellenic, but I don't know. I'm horrible at this. But it was really mixed. A lot of different people. I got really lucky. It wasn't just all white dudes, or it wasn't just a bunch of people in like, I don't even know what those shoes are called. Like loafers. Like what are those loafers called? There's a name for them.
Aren't they called loafers?
Slip-on Vans?
No.
I know what you're saying. I get a lot of USC students wear that.
Sherry's.
Loafers with no socks. You
Yes,
look like your
with
feet smell.
the shorts.
Just so you
right?
know, you look like your feet smell. Loafers and no socks.
Right, and your feet smells because they're itchy. But
Oh.
yeah, that was really great.
Yeah, that's one thing I wish I did. Like join some clubs and things like that.
Right.
But I think right when I was making that decision to join clubs, I got really into Andrew Yang. And then I started an Andrew Yang club. Well,
Join
not
the
a
Yang
club.
Gang.
Yeah, I joined the Yang Gang. I
Best
started an
frat on
Andrew Yang Yang Gang. And you know what's crazy? The person I met in Yang Gang was majoring in game production at USC, and he applied to Justin's student ambassador program, and you guys chatted, and I think he's doing onboarding now,
Yeah.
which is
no.
crazy.
I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to working with him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just gotta expand your network, expand your
Yeah.
reach.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And for chat, it's not a UFC cage. It's just a cage for my kid. So
You should give her like a baby octagon though. That'd be really cool.
you know, it's funny. I was browsing Reddit yesterday, and there must have been like I want to say a 7 or 8 year old little girl who's doing some techniques
Mhm.
that just jacked this big dude up. There's a bunch of like arm bars and rear naked choke, a bunch of sweeps. and
Wow.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be teaching her that. So prepare
Building the
yourself.
next
You got that one.
Terminator.
For sure. When she can kick my ass, I'll be fine. Yes, that's
Maybe
exactly
in
what I'm
like a
looking
couple
for.
years, 2 or 3 years, she can do it.
Maybe she's already better at me than video games. So I mean, that's not really
Best
saying
of both
much,
worlds, right?
That's just
MMA
you
and
getting
US
old.
and esports.
Yeah, my timing's a little off by like 25 years.
Right.
But
Born too early.
I know, man. Where was this when I was young? Oh, you had to go to the arcade. That
D-
Where's
DDR.
the arcade
was
now?
cool.
I miss arcade.
I miss arcades too.
Arcade was dope.
Arcades were fun.
Mm-hmm.
They were. I don't know. Being at the arcade was a lot of fun, but pissing off like bigger kids when you're good at a video game is not cool when you're a little nerd.
Did
That's,
beat up.
And that's why he learned karate.
Yeah.
One of the reasons,
Out of
absolutely.
necessity. You learned it immediately one afternoon.
Yeah, when
Hey, it worked
people are
out.
tired of you playing Sub-Zero and freezing them the entire time, and yeah, I get it. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry at all.
Get over here, freeze.
You
Finish
finished?
him.
Are you finished?
Well,
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just I happened to be watching this video before the podcast, just about like all the legal trouble about like Mortal Kombat back in the day. Like, all the news anchors talking about like this game is destroying kids, it's child abuse, and it was like a huge like Senate hearing on like getting
Oh,
rid of Mortal
yeah.
Kombat.
It's true. I walk down the street knocking people's heads off every
Yeah.
chance I got,
Just freezing people and kicking their head off.
tearing out
Yeah.
their hearts and their spine. Yeah,
It's so funny because
that was my everyday life.
They have this video of a kid at a mall arcade, right? And they go up to him with like cameras and a film crew and microphones, like, "How does this game make you feel?" And he was like, "It's fun." And they take it, they put it into like congressional hearing, and they're like, "This kid loves this game. We need to get rid of it. This is evil." The '90s is crazy time, I hear.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they let my
Although-
family let me watch a bunch of crazy ass movies, so me playing Mortal Kombat was just like, all right, whatever. Let's poison his mind some more. Excellent.
All right.
I mean,
It
in
was
China
Booger
and
Man.
Korea, they
If you haven't
have.
played Booger Man, sorry.
In China and Korea, but I think it's more for addiction reasons. They have regulated hours for people who are underage when they
Like the
can play.
Cinderella Act or something like that, right?
Yeah.
No gaming after midnight.
Yeah, or something like that. But
It's
I
more
want.
like a Gremlin act.
True.
You
Dude,
know,
that would be
someone
a
I
great-
know, their dad does that to them here. They shut off
What?
their Wi-Fi at certain hours, like
That
after
just sounds
1.
inconvenient.
Yeah, I don't know. I know to do
I'm
that
just gonna
every
use
day,
my
like
cell phone now to
exactly.
Wi-Fi.
No,
off your
that's what
data.
she's like. I'll be. She's like, I'm on my computer. I'll be back in chat through my phone, like after the dad shuts it off.
Yeah, my mom used to do
Yeah.
that. She would take the router when she went grocery shopping.
Oh
A
my
little
god.
router in her bag.
I don't, as an only child, I don't know what the hell I would have done without video games.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
I did a lot of
I-
drawing. I did a lot of like Legos. I used to take my GI Joes and put plastic bags underneath their arms and then
Mhm.
twist it and fold it over the T-bar on my kite and then
Mhm.
watch them parachute out. that was my childhood.
That is so
And
cool.
if I didn't have, yeah, it was actually pretty cool. But if I didn't have video games, oh man, I don't know where my imagination would be. I loved it. Just
Right.
my mom had me young, so
Mm.
there's a little rough growing up, and it just takes you away to another place. You get to participate. I love reading books, but this is like you're playing. You actually get to affect the story
Right. Way
ish.
different.
And when we were
Yeah.
kids, you were reading. So like I would use that as justification. Like, Mom,
So
I have
you're
read
assuming that I read.
all these. Well, you had to read to complete
You
the
have to.
quest,
You
right?
have
I
to.
mean, it's like,
Yeah.
Public
I remember
go to the
Nintendo-
thing and do the thing. It's like, well, I'm gonna have to read this. Nobody had voices. Voice actors didn't come along till
Yeah.
what, 2003 or something like that in video games.
very recent
Yeah,
innovation.
The voices in like Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Well, okay, yeah, but real.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny? I never read like my games to the point where I don't know how to get it started, and I almost returned the game. And like I do this
It
on.
sounds like a
Story.
user error.
You're missing the story, man.
Yeah, I need to. I'm new to video gaming though, and I'm an only child too. And I always say to myself, I was like, I wish I discovered gaming when I was younger. It would have been a more enjoyable childhood.
It's like watching a movie on mute. What are you doing? What are you really doing? No.
Fortunately for you, you are surrounded by dorks,
Yes,
True.
and we will
I'm
show
very
you.
very fortunate. Yes.
Aw.
We're gonna show you.
I still need to learn
Glasses
from
on.
Cody how to like use After Effects and everything. But like, how did your career get started?
My career got started. Oh, we're like 8 o'clock, and I need an hour on that one.
Yeah, get an elevator pitch on your life. Go.
Elevator pitch. When I was like 3 years old, I started writing books, and I had my mom do the writing because I was too little
Oh,
to
yeah.
write. So, but I would draw the pictures, and I made a trilogy called "The Kid Who Wanted to Be King." No, the movie that came out a couple of years ago hadn't. Yeah, I need to sue. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to sue, but it was very similar. Title. It was "The Kid Who Wanted to Be King," Part 1, 2, and 3. Because Back to the Future was a trilogy, Star Wars was a trilogy. It had to be a trilogy. There's just no question. So, just writing stories, telling stories. It's been my passion for my whole life. Late in high school, found out I can make movies and like take what I'm writing, but actually see it. This sounds amazing. So I got into that and went to a community college. Now, to your point, yes, community college saves money, but the counselors at that community college lied to me to keep me there because it would keep me
They
spending
do
money.
that. They do that.
They do that. So, tip anybody who is going to community college, you plan to transfer to a bigger school or higher level, talk to the counselors there, not the ones where you're at. Maybe the ones where you're at will be honest and totally be there to help you out. But I was with a buddy. So we were going together to the same counselor at the end of every semester. And he was telling us these things. And then all of a sudden, hey, we've done 4 semesters. That's 2 years. We're ready to go. No, you need stuff from letter F. I'm like, section F does not exist on the paper that you gave me on my first day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But in the student handbook, there's secret letter F and you have 6 credits missing there. It's like, okay, so that's an extra semester. Turns out there's a whole other thing that he didn't tell us about to give us another semester. So an entire year extra at the community college because they told
I know a
us
friend
those lies.
who like did regular college and then he didn't like what he was doing, so he flunked out of college and went to community college, got straight A's, but the counselor told him you don't need to retake the classes you failed at your other school. So when he applied to all these new schools, he didn't get in, and when he called those new schools, he was like, you need to retake the classes. So he had to stay 2 more years.
Yeah, education should be the most like straightforward thing, but it really is not.
It's hard. It's hard.
It should not be hard. Like, I'm just trying to learn. Why are you trying to stop my academic target? It just makes no sense. I'm not trying to build a building. I'm not trying to create this huge project. I'm just trying to go to class, man. It's like the most complex thing. You have to plan out your whole, like,
expensive.
5 years.
I wish they taught you more useful things, like how to do your taxes, how to save up, just things that are more applicable in life. But I don't think they do.
Harder to charge you for a semester long of doing taxes, so it's easier to talk about quantum microeconomics.
I want to back up just a little bit. He is a writer, and he has a book that is really good, and it's about like Santa Claus ish.
It is,
and it is Really, really good.
Why do you keep all
Uh,
these secrets from us?
I don't like to talk about
I have
myself.
I have a signed copy of this book. Come on, plug
does.
plug
Can
the
we
book.
see
It
it
is
at
a
least?
good
Right
book.
here.
I was actually trying to see if I have a copy back here.
Plot twist: his mom sold it.
I don't know if I don't think I have a
Hmm.
copy on me, but yeah, it's about it's a historical fiction fantasy Lord of the Rings style, but
Ooh.
it's set in a historical setting of the historical Saint Nicholas, who I call the
Uh-huh.
Batman of 300 AD.
That is insane.
So
That is
basically,
that is a
Cody
Netflix original right there.
was a
Yes!
genius.
Here at Netflix, you heard it
Here,
first.
just
Netflix.
We're gonna work on it, dude. We are gonna work
Yeah.
on it. That's on the packing order of things that we're gonna do this year for sure.
Netflix is all about Christmas movies.
I'd
I don't
watch
want to
that.
They really
sell it
are.
right now. They're gonna steal this idea, and I'm not gonna get a cent. But it's like
no.
Santa Claus meets The Witcher. Come on, Netflix.
It's actually really cool.
We need to delete
Really,
this
really
clip
cool.
so no one takes your idea. But
I
basically,
know.
Cody was a genius starting from age 3 and just did his
Yeah. He was
career.
like, Mom, write this.
Yeah.
You can also see our wonderful Cody on all of our FAQ videos about
Yeah.
Leyline. He does a tremendous job,
Mhm.
and it's
With his
it's
beautiful voice.
whimsical and it's wonderful.
My
and
beautiful
he's-
voice, really?
Mhm.
Oh, you stop it! You
You
sound
looked really cool
glorious.
in the last one with the
That's too much
coffee.
vitamin R for me, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
I told you it wasn't going to be the only time. I knew
It's a
he's going to do it
coffee
again. I knew
Yeah.
it was coming. I still don't think that's the last time.
this cup
No,
is
we'll
full of
see.
milk. It's high in vitamin R.
Nice.
Does the body good, ladies and gentlemen.
Did you pay him to say that? Did you pay him to say that?
I
Jeez,
don't know.
man.
Check my Venmo history.
I don't know if I like how Venmo just like, hey, you sent that person. Everybody can see it who follows
Yeah,
you. I
I
don't.
put
You could
pride
I'm not a
private
fan
it.
of that at all. You're like, what did you buy with the? Oh, never mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, that's why I like cryptocurrency.
Hey.
What are you buying, dude?
Hey, look, bro.
I got no secrets, man.
I
Just trying to
mean,
pay.
you know,
the
I'm
gas
usually
bill.
honest with you all the time, so I'll tell you afterwards.
Everybody stay in chat like after we end.
Buying vitamin R on the dark web, man.
I told you it wasn't going to be the last time he did it. I still don't think it's the last time either. Oh man. Well, we're pushing a little bit, but I want to say that I really enjoyed this evening's conversation. Justin,
Thank you for
very
having
much
me, guys.
for enlightening us with even more your brilliance. I remember way back when at the beginning of this podcast that I said that you were brilliant, and it just thank you for proving.
I hope I lived up to your expectations. They were kind of high, but I tried.
Nah, you blow
I
through the
tried.
ceiling for sure, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
You have a bright
I
future
want-
ahead of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so bright. His face is peeling back from the sun. That's how fast it is.
He's getting
Anyways, that
sunburned.
didn't make any sense. Made sense in my mind when I started to say it, and then it just didn't.
And
All
just
right.
kinda moved up.
It's that vitamin R. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to give a couple plugs out there. I want to say thank you to Jeremy De La Rosa, the CEO and founder of Leyline. Thank you for putting this thing together and bringing us all here to celebrate humanity and to put our best foot forward as humans and save this place. You know, if you want kids or have kids, they still got to fucking live here. I say it like that, but they still got to live here too. Let's make a better day for them and for us, because even though whatever happened, I still like to live and be in a nice kick-ass place and look forward to tomorrow as well. Please help me out and go visit leyline.gg, start participating, make some money, earn some points, and save some lives. I want to give a big shout out to Bex for holding it down in our Discord. She just jumped in on one of our community leads. Check out our Discord. You can get a bunch of links from our website. We need help. We are a
Exclamation point.
nonprofit. Ooh, go ahead.
Exclamation point Discord.
Yeah, exclamation point.
Hashtag save Boogie, save the world.
Save the world.
Oh,
Yes.
it's not. Sorry.
Save the boogie. Save the world. Do I need to get a okay?
Bex is Bexcellent. Sorry.
I like that.
Nice dad joke.
Yeah, it was a dad joke.
Very fitting.
I love that
it-
jokes.
And we are a nonprofit. So if you're listening to this, we could use all the help that we could get. We're trying to raise money so we can help save the world. Please check us out at leyline.gg/donate. Don't forget to tune in next week. Same. It's 7 o'clock Pacific time, Wednesdays. Yeah, I just wanted to thank everybody for coming tonight. Thank you, everybody, for showing up and watching and listening to us,
Yes.
to the 3 smart people and the 1 bonehead.
Me.
But I love you guys for it. For Agent W, Crystal, and Malk. Thanks for showing up. Big shout out. Love you guys.
Thank
Love
you. Bye,
y'all.
guys.
Let's go.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Oh, yeah, I got to do the thing. Change the game, change the world. All right, that's enough of that. Thanks for coming, guys.